ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Today we will be analyzing 3 Agni Suktas from Sage Vamadeva. First Suktam is 5 in Trishtuk Chanda. This is a very good prayer sukta. Vaishwanaraya Milhushe Sajosha 4.5.1. How can we, with full of love and spirit of service, give oblations to that Vaishwanara Agni, who is the leader of all persons, is showerer of happiness, and is shining brightly with great luster. He upholds the universe like a dam with his great full-grown body. Sage Vamadeva may be asking this question to himself: how to glorify Vaishwanara Agni satisfactorily? Most of the Rig deals with virtues of this Agni, who may be the soul of energy or fire, which could be either gross or subtle. 4.5.2. Ma nindata ya imam mahyam ratim. O man, that Vaishwanara Agni is self-shining and has large stock of abundant food grains. He is a genius, he is immortal, he is endowed with much knowledge, he is leader of all persons, he is best among leaders of men, and is great. He gives me, a mortal human being of mature dealings, all this wealth. Do not reproach him. Oh, all attributes of Agni given here have been explained some time earlier. All material wealth that the sage has belongs to the soul of energy, leader of men, Vaishwanara Agni. 4.5.3. Sama Dvibarha Mahi Tigma Prishti. That Vaishwanara Agni, who is advanced in knowledge and humility, whose maturity of understanding is sharp, who is full of splendor and is very highly learned, teaches me in trailing that highly secret knowable, which is the greatest wealth, like a man trailing the footmarks of a cow. From the first part of the Rig, it should be clear that the word Agni stands for the soul of energy, spiritual Agni, and not gross energy. The so-called Vaishwanara Agni guides a person like Sage Vamadeva to truth, which is knower, knowable, and knowledge, all three combined into oneself. Five 4.5.4. Pradhan Agni, who is the possessor of good wealth and sharp teeth like flames, with his intensely hot splendor, takes to task those people who intentionally transgress the desirable, firm commands of Mitra and Varuna. Mitra and Varuna are dispensers of Rita during the day and night respectively. Agni, the fire, burns up people who knowingly transgress Rita because they are inviolable. Some categories of transgressors are mentioned in the next Rig, 4.5.5. Abhradaro na yoshano vyanta. Women like wives without brothers, going out of the home of the husband, creating nuisance to his family, so also men given to vices, performing sinful acts, or men who speak untruth and falsehood, create this deep state of ignorance for themselves, by themselves. Women who is unchaste, leaving her husband's house after his death, and different categories of undesirable characters are considered to be transgressors of Rita. 4.5.6 Idam me agne kiyade. O purifier Agni, please impart to me, who has little power, who is like a child and is non-violent, that heavy load, namely excellent knowledge, which is profound, is great, is standing out prominently, and is based on 7 elements, along with courage and loving kindness. Sage Vamadeva is praying for self-knowledge from Agni, the soul of energy. Most of the adjectives used to qualify him have been explained here. Manifested forms made of matter are experienced by means of seven organs of the body. 5 sensory organs are a body made of 5 forms of matter, the mind and ego. Ego means I feel it, feeling of I-ness. Along with knowledge, he is praying for courage and kindness to follow the righteous path. 4.5.7 Tamin ve. May these purifying hymns, together with appropriate actions, approach him only, who is the same in all living beings and is endowed with much understanding. He is established in the beautiful space high above the earth and in the static layer of the atmosphere surrounding it. In all living creatures, either Jatarakni, grass, or Vaishwanaragni is the same. Grass Agni is present in the space and in the atmosphere, having 2 layers. Troposphere is close to the earth up to an altitude of 10 to 15 kilometers. All movements are restricted to this layer. Above troposphere is the stratosphere, where no movement of air takes place. About 50 kilometers or so, there exist different layers of space, such as ionosphere, exosphere, etc. 4.5.8 Pravachyam Vajasa Kim Me. What is that is hidden in my words? That is to be told because they are said to purify all. Who protects that? Who causes the appearance of water in the cloud, which is like the milk of a cow? He protects the desirable ultimate abode of the Supreme Being, which is like the nest of a bird hidden high above the surface of the earth. What is implied in the hymns of sage Vamadeva is the truth, the secret knowledge of Vedas. Protector of truth is Indra, the manifested self. The Supreme Being is hidden in the cave of the heart of human beings. All forms of matter manifest because of the manifested self. Rest of the earth may not need any explanation. Vaishwanara stands for the manifested self here. Idamu Tyenmahi Mahamanikam. 4.5.9 This one is certainly powerful, like a great army of heroes. Intelligent men worship that ancient one only, who is like a milk-yielding cow. Know him, who shines brilliantly in the abode of Ruta, who is a quick mover hidden in the cave of the heart, moving from one heart to another rapidly. Co-dwellers of moving witness himself is being implied in this ruk. Abode of Vrita is Satya, truth. Atmiya Soma moves or appears to move through ever-changing bodies of living creatures. Here also Vaishwanara Agni imply word co-dweller of Soma, moving witness himself. 4.5.10 Atha Dyudana Pitro. Know that one who shines brilliantly with the parents and is present, hidden beautifully within the cloud. He is like a mother whose speech is in the ultimate abode. The speech Om of this active, shining shower of happiness is close to truth. Manifested soul of energy, Vaishwanara Agni stays with his parents Purusha and Prakriti. He is hidden by the cloud of ignorance regarding the birth of changing matter from birthless Brahman. All speeches born from ignorance rest in the ultimate abode of all speeches, Om Brahman. This hymn of sage Vamadeva is close to truth, so it is beyond all words. Om is closest to truth. 4.5.11 Ritam Boche Namasa Prichyamana. O knower of all born beings, being cross-questioned by co-sacrificers, I shall tell or declare the truth. You dwell in all this wealth. May we or I attain that by praising you. You are the Lord of all this wealth. That one is the resplendent sun, is in the resplendent sun, on the earth, in the space and in the atmosphere. Essence of this ruk is quite simple. Vaishwanara Agni pervades all wealth that can be attained by praising him. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. Isha pervades the whole material universe. So Vaishwanara Agni implies Isha here and also in the next ruk, 4.5.12. Kim no asya dravinam katha. O knower of all born beings, you are wise. Please tell us, what is his wealth? What is the jewel of all wealth? What is the path to the ultimate secret truth? You may move along, leaving behind all doubtful men. All wealths are his. Jewel of all wealth is self-knowledge. Material wealth makes its appearance because of the manifested self. The path to the ultimate secret is gross matter, subtle matter, Jivatma, ignorance and truth. Let the doubters of truth live in their own fool's paradise. Vaishwanara Agni shows the right path. 4.5.13 Ka Maryada Vayuna Katha. Which is the boundary of that one? Which is the boundary of that one should not transgress? What are our duties? When shall we acquire the most admirable knowledge like prompt and active persons? When will true knowledge spread over us like the shining dawns, who are like the wives of that immortal being, united with the sun all the time? One should not transgress Sruta. Duties of human beings depend upon the nature of each person. Most admirable knowledge is self-knowledge. With these clarifications, the Rig should become comprehensible. We go to the next Rig, 4.5.14. Anirena vachasa phalgvena. O spiritual Agni, those who are not convinced with an unconfirmed answer to a big or small question regarding the cause of the universe, what will they tell you here and now? May men who are not armed with proper weapons travel along an unreal path. This is an interesting Rig. Truth cannot be explained by words as it is beyond words. It negates the existence of everything else. It cannot be confirmed. The truth cannot be confirmed because confirmation implies existence of a confirming entity other than Atma, which is not true. One can only realize it or feel the truth. Any confusion or doubt regarding oneness of truth is ignorance and which cannot be real, because such a situation, namely Atma and ignorance, contradicts oneness of truth, or this leads to perception of duality. Perceivers of duality in the self can have nothing to tell to Agni, the soul of energy, who is one form of matter. Source of matter is the self. Leave such men to follow the unreal path. This is being implied in this Rig. 4.5.15, the last Rig in the Sukta. Asya Shriye Samidhanasya Vrishno. Army of flames of that well-shining Vaishwanara Agni, who is showerer of happiness and is giver of shelter to all, shines in all directions in the house of the sacrificer for his prosperity. He shines brilliantly, uncovering his lovely form, which is beautiful to look at. Glorified by many, he shines like the wealth of earth. Here, sage Vamadeva talks about Agni, the sacrificial fire on the earth. Most of the Rig is devoted to Vaishwanara Agni, the soul of energy, manifested form of the self. Meaning of the Rig should be clear in the light of this clarification. Is it not obvious that in this Sukta, by the word Vaishwanara, sage Vamadeva means Agni, who accompanies the all-pervading Atma, the self, in the bodies of all human beings. Now, we go to Suktam 6th, which is from sage Vamadeva. Devata is Agni again. Chandas is Trushtu. Urdhva Ushuno Adharasya. O shining Agni, you are the best acceptor of sacrifice and worship worthy. Please be seated in front of us in this sacrifice. May you become the subject of thought of all of us. You enhance the intellect of a wise scholar. Meaning of the Rig should be clear as it is. Let the sacrificers concentrate their mind on Agni, about whom seer of the Sukta is to make an exposition in this Sukta. Now, this is the essence of the Rig. 4.6.2 Amuro Hoda Nyasadi. Adhidevik Agni, who is sharp-sighted, is acceptor of sacrifice, is giver of delight, is highly learned, is established among the sacrificers in these knowledge sacrifices. Like the sun lighting up the space, Agni emits his splendor upwards, and also smoke, which looked like a column supporting the sky. A sacrificial fire radiates light in all directions. It also emits a column of smoke, which may look like a pillar supporting the sky. 4.6.3 Yada Sajurni Ratini Kritachi. When oblations of ghee flow brightly, performers of sacrifices watch the newborn sun rising up in the east like a preacher. Though inactive, the resplendent and benevolent sun, or Agni, activates all cattle and other living creatures. During the ancient Vedic period, Agni was kindled for worship at dawn. Then the sun rises up, giving physical light. Preacher of Vedas, shining in knowledge, emit or teach light of wisdom at the onset of dawn. 4.6.4 Sirne Barhishi Samidhane Agna. When Agni, or the sun, shines brightly in the place of sacrifice or in the space, the sacrificer, serving with love and doing noble deeds, sits in an elevated place. Acceptor of sacrifice Agni, who is ancient, is like a protector of living creatures, extending his rays, approach the sun in the sky. When the sun rising up in the sky and sacrificial fire burning brightly in front of them, the knowledge sacrificer or preacher, sitting on a raised stage, starts his sermons on Agni. This scene can easily be visualized by men even today. Light of Agni mingles with that of the sun, or inner fire starts clearing the darkness of ignorance, like the sun illuminating the world removes the darkness of the night. 4.6.5 Paritmana Midadruredi. Sacrificial Agni, who is acceptor of sacrifice, he is giver of happiness, he is sweet-tongued, he is speaker of truth, and by his very nature a doer of all movements in proper measures. He approaches us. His rays of light too flow out in all directions. All worlds fear from that water bearer. Here Agni could be gross energy or spiritual Agni. With reference to the former, overall meaning should be clear. Vaishwanara Agni moves from one living form to another along with the self. Light of knowledge of the spiritual Agni radiates in all directions. Living creatures should be afraid of Agni accompanying the self, because while Agni in the sun is the bearer of water in the atmosphere, Agni with the self is or acts as the messenger of self in their bodies. 4.6.6 Bhadrate Agne Swaniga Sandrik. O soul of Agni, you shine with your army of flames. You are fierce to the wicked and all pervading. Your lovely and auspicious form is beautiful to look at. Your splendor cannot be destroyed either by the night or by violent force. No stain or fault can be associated with your body. 4.6.7 Nayasya sadhu janitoravari. That benevolent purifier Agni, whose brilliance the sun's Agni's parents, though revered, cannot impede, nor anybody else, nor Mitra. He shines brilliantly among men who are like his subjects. Agni's parents, the space and earth, are inert forms of matter. Agni provides energy for all inert bodies in the universe, including Mitra. Lord of the day or the sun, consider Agni to be energy personified. Men are the subjects ruled over by such an Agni, and in fact, he is the Lord of all living creatures. 4.6.8 Dviryam Panja Jijana. I glorify that Agni, whom 10 sister-like fingers created to live among his human subjects. He awakes with the morning light, has teeth like flames, is resplendent, is having a beautiful face, and is sharp like an axe. This is the description of fire which was first produced by human beings by the strength of their arms. Later this fire came to be kindled daily in the morning for a variety of purposes. Attributes of Agni given here have already been dealt with before. 4.6.9 Tavati Agne Hariso Ghrutasna, O grass Agni, your famous horse-like rays or spiritual light rays, which are sprinkled with ghee, move straight and move nicely. They are red, chestnut or reddish in color. They are givers of happiness. Having straight, strong, arm-like flames, which are destroyers of miseries. They are being glorified by us for conducting this sacrifice. Outwardly here Agni stands for sacrificial fire. Such an Agni is being dealt with in this book. 4.6.10 Ya ye haritye te sahamana. O soul of Agni, those famous spiritual light rays of yours, which are capable of overcoming foes, are quick, are splendid and bright, are worship-worthy. They are like the might of winds, which are makers of sound and fast-moving like hawks. Your rays move freely to accomplish the desired purpose. Whatever has been said about the previous rik is applicable to this rik also. Agni's spiritual rays also move fast, producing a hissing or crackling sound like or with the mighty winds. These rays are unstoppable by any force on earth. Last rik in this sutta, 4.6.11 Agari Brahma Samidhana Ruphyam. O brightly burning Agni, this hymn is prepared for you. This praise is sung for you. You, who is the unifier of all. You are the giver of wealth and knowledge, desiring the welfare of mankind learned men caused the praiseworthy Agni to be seated, paying homage to that admirable sacrificer. Sage Vamadeva concludes this sukta by restating that the fact that he is glorifying Agni through this hymn for the benefit of mankind, to increase their knowledge about Agni, which could be physical or spiritual. We go to the third suktam, suktam 7, is also on Agni from sage Vamadeva. Here chandas could be Jagati, Anushtup and Trushtup. 4.7.1 Ayamiha Prathamo Dhyayi. This spiritual Agni, who is acceptor of oblations, is invoked by many, is worshipped first in a knowledge sacrifice, is being upheld by the wearers of oblations here in this non-violent knowledge sacrifice. Blessed with children and grandchildren, sages endowed with mature wisdom, living in the forest, make him who is wonderful the Lord of all subjects of the earth and in the space. In this introductory work, sage Vamadeva is stating the fact that he is invoking Agni having the attributes mentioned above. By this sukta, in this knowledge sacrifice, the usual practice is to invoke Agni first. Next trick is 4.7.2 Agni Kadata. O spiritual Agni, you are self-shining. When will your intelligence be agreeable to us? Also, when will men accept you, who is adorable by all people? Well, when will men start making use of Agni for enhancing their knowledge? When will they realize Agni residing in their own bodies? The sage Vamadeva wants to know. 4.7.3 Prasavanam Vijetasam. Intelligent men see him who is absolutely truthful and is resplendent like the sky with the stars, as the illuminator of all non-violent sacrifices in every place. Intelligent men see Agni pervading all active material forms in the space and on the earth, or all activities are energy or Agni driven. 4.7.4 Ashum Dutam Vivasvato. Enlightened souls accept that Agni, who accepts all human beings as his subjects, who is fast moving as the symbol of the sun and glittering like the sun for the welfare of human beings. Agni rules over human bodies as well. Learned men make use of different forms of Agni for the welfare of all. Enlightened souls accept Agni, the soul of energy, as a messenger of the self. Pratyaksham Brahma. 4.7.5 Tamim Hodaram. Sacrificers set up only him in front, who is an agreeable acceptor of sacrifice, is knower of the soul, is charming, is a splendid purifier, is very much worship-worthy, and shines with 7-colored light. The next work is a continuation of this one. Sacrificers set up in front of them the sacrificial fire, which is being described in the next work. 4.7.6 Tam Shashvatishu Matrushu. He, soul of Agni, is there in the eternal origin of manifestation of matter, ignorance, Mahamaya, and also present in the rays of light. He is pleasant, he is sharp, he is wonderful, he is hidden in the cave of the heart. He is a good knower of Vedas and is accomplisher of many objects. Description of all-pervading Agni continues in this book also. Attributes of Agni mentioned here have been explained before. 4.7.7 Sasasya Yad Viyuta. Enlightened souls free from sleep of ignorance delight themselves in the abode of Ruta, Ruta, which is the radiant adder of the universe. The excellent receiver of oblations and enforcer of Ruta, Agni Atma, becomes the composer of hymns of a knowledge sacrifice. Abode of Ruta is Satya, the self. This enlightened souls realize matter and material forms make their appearance and disappearance according to Ruta. These objects seem to flow out of that radiant self continuously. Agni serves as a source of inspiration for the seers of the hymns. Oh, 4.7.8 Veradharasya Dutyani. Why spiritual Agni succeeds in overcoming obstructions of light or knowledge. He is the composer of hymns of a knowledge sacrifice. He is present within the space and earth. He is well knowledgeable. He is ancient. He is doer of various works. He is highly learned and is messenger of the self. Most of the adjectives qualifying Agni have been dealt with before. Agni is there in the space and within the earth. As sun or fire, Agni removes darkness of the night or that produced by the cloud. Agni, the soul of energy, overcomes ignorance covering the self. 4.7.9 Krishnam ta ema rushata. O Atmiya Agni, you are shining brightly. Your course is dark. Your luster moves ahead. Your moving brilliance is the same as that of all beautiful shining objects. When not impregnated, you are held within the womb. As soon as you are born, you become the messenger of the self. Considering Agni to be the soul of energy, as well as of other forms of matter, their path to the self is unknown or dark, but rays of spiritual light of the self lies ahead of ignorance or darkness. The same self illumines all bodies. In the unmanifested form, Agni stays with the self. When Agni appears, he acts as a messenger of self. Sadhyo jatasya dadrisha namojo. 4.7.10 Strength of the born Agni becomes immediately visible. When the wind blows over his brilliant body, the blazing flames spread among the shrubs and plants. When stationary, Agni gives various kinds of foods with his strength. This is just a brief description of fire. First part refers to a moving fire and the second part to a stationary fire. Example, sacrificial fire or a kitchen fire. Last ruk in the sukta, 4.7.11. Trishu yadanna trishuna vavaksha. Agni, who is quick moving, enables to get food rapidly. The great Agni acts as a quick messenger of the self. When attached with the might of air, Agni is caused to move quickly like a racehorse. I shall gladden him. This concluding ruk gives a summary of the details of Agni presented in the earlier ruks of the sutta. Today we will close our discussion here. Viramastavat.